Welcome back. It's been a couple of years since I've actually done an update video, but the reason why I'm doing it now is because people think I'm either dead or not uploading content, and that's not entirely true. I'm not dead, but I'm not uploading as much as I usually would. Now, the reason for that is it's the middle of winter, and out here in the conservatory it's absolutely freezing cold. That's why I'm wearing a coat, a hoodie, and even a scarf. But doesn't mean I've not been busy. I am working on some projects that will hopefully come to fruition a bit later in the year. I mean, there's some over there, so why not? I'll show you a bit of what I'm working on, and hopefully, when the weather gets a bit warmer, we'll have some decent little projects to work on. Stick around and I'll show you what I'm up to. Let's start with the smallest project first. It's these, they're coins. Now, this one is out of the original mould, and these two are recreations. So let's have a quick look at this one first. Don't know if you know, but it's actually a coin from a story called Dragonfire. It's meant to be kind of a pivotal plot point between Sophie Aldred, who plays Ace, and Edward Peel, who plays Kane. In fact, that's Edward Peel there, or a representation of him. So I'm going to be moulding that up soon as the weather warms up, so hopefully that'll be in a week or two. And just like these, I'll be making that available. These ones are a recreation. Again, this comes from a story from McCoy's era. It was called The Greatest Show in the Galaxy. I think, well, this is basically one face. It's a double-faced coin. So you have one like this on this side, and when you flip it over, it's exactly the same face. As you can see, it's Alpha Centauri there. And that is the Tails coin. So there'll be two of those as well. So to make one set of coins, I've got to have 4 castings. Now, this one's kind of interesting because I'm trying to replicate as closely as I possibly can the original maker's method of producing them. So if it were me making these things, I would have sculpted this, but in the original case, this was just a piece of plastic art that was then sculpted in with a very, very sharp, pointy, pokey thing. So that's what I'm doing. But yeah, hopefully those will be available relatively soon, and it's going to be sort of pocket money. Yeah, about pocket money level. Maybe sort of 30 quid or thereabouts. So 30 quid for that, a set of that, and 30 quid for that. Mainly because that's out of the original mold, so you get one. There would be nothing on the back because it was just completely blank, and these will be double-sided. Anyway, let's have a look at a different project. Going from the easiest project to perhaps the largest project, this is part of the Trial of a Time Lord station from, well, Trial of a Time Lord. I don't know if you've seen it, 1986. It's the story in which Colin Baker is put on trial for his crimes against humanity, time, and whatever. I can't remember, but ever since I first saw that opening shot, I absolutely fell in love with it, and I really wanted to recreate that sequence. And luckily, I was able to track down many years ago 6 castings out of those moulds, and here's one of them. It's quite the feat, to be honest. It's going to be about 6 foot wide and about 6 foot tall when done. So the problem there is storing it, the cost of making it, and all the other bits. I mean, speaking of the cost of making it, just locating all the model parts that go on this, there are hundreds and hundreds of parts. We're talking hundreds, if not thousands of pounds. So yeah, that's going to be an interesting project. I don't quite know how I'm going to tackle it. I mean, physically doing it's fine, but the cost of it, I've already spent a fair old amount of money on model kits, but the original one no longer exists in its original form. But if I can try and recreate it as closely as I can, that would be rather nice. And maybe one day, you never know, perhaps we could put it on display somewhere, maybe in an exhibition. I don't know, but that's a project that I'm probably going to have to ask for help on, but we shall see. Back to the bench. So these little hand props here are something I've pretty much made up. They're not exactly Doctor Who props, but it's just something that I've spent years thinking about. I mean, to be honest, I actually started making these back in the very late 1980s. In particular, this one. This is sort of a hark back to the radiation detector that Sylvester McCoy had in a couple of his adventures. I did make one back then, and I used some of these parts, but it wasn't very good. I mean, this here, as you can see, it's all hose lock parts. That's part of my dad's old strimmer and an old car radio aerial and bits of Lego and stuff. But I never actually got around to making it until just, in fact, I think it was Christmas Day I made this. I was at a bit of a loose end and had itchy fingers and wanted to do something. So yeah, I made that. As I said, it's a bit of a hark back to Sylvester McCoy's era and how his props were made out of, as I said, bits of garden hosing and what have you. The other one, again, this is a holdover from all those years ago. The main body of it, you can probably tell, is a garden sprayer. Again, it was my dad's, and I've held on to it for all these years, and I didn't really do anything with it. I just sort of strapped some bits to it and thought, one day I'll make this, but I did finally make this. I think it was on Boxing Day. I just made it, just threw some bits and pieces together. As I said, that's the main base of it is hose lock. I think that is Lego, that black pointy bit. That's a piece of Millennium Falcon. The old, I think that's actually the seat for my original Millennium Falcon that I had when I was a kid. A digger toy, and in there is another digger toy. So yeah, it's kind of detailed. It looks busy. I just need to paint both of these things. But this is going to be some sort of welder, I think. Just thought it looked kind of fun to do. Made it up. Took me no more than an hour, I guess. So that's something else I'd like to finish up. I'd like to make a load of other tools as well, that sort of sci-fi tools. I've got a whole list of things I'd like to make, and I've got parts I've basically had hanging around for years. So yeah, that's another little project that I might like to show you, but let's move on to something a bit different. Look at that. A full set of TARDIS Police Box sign graphics, straight from the original prop. Maybe one day I'll actually get to build my own and put these on it. But for now, that's not what we're talking about. We're going to be talking about K9. Yes, another one. So this one, I recently came into the possession of. It's not particularly brilliant. It looks like it's been out in the garden somewhere. It's full of green filth and all that. But the reason why I've got it is, you probably don't know this, but I've been spending years and years and years debating on whether I'm going to build one K9 or the other. In the end, I just thought, screw it, I'll build all of the ones I want to do. So anyway, this one in particular, I'm going to turn into a destroyed K9. So I'll have the side removed and you'll be able to see all the internals. The head will be sort of basically knocked off, and you'll see all the bits, and it will look burnt and, well, decrepit really. So that's kind of one of the projects. I would like to build the lightweight dummy dog as well. That one never gets any love in replication circles. I will build the hero version, but it will be the Mark II, so sort of season 18, because that's my favourite. I thought it looked fantastic then. And then I will do a sort of, what's the story called? K9 and Company, the blue version. So I'll probably make 4 or possibly 5, depending on how I feel. But that body there is not a BBC casting. That's one of my old TPE ones. As I said, it's a bit ropey, but that's why it's going to be the destroyed one. I do have some BBC castings up in the garage, but they're out of the way, and I'm not going to bother going and getting them now. But there's that is a BBC casting. That's a dummy head. If you know the story, I've talked about it before. When K9 was built, they made the head, and just a few days before they were due to start filming, they said, the BBC that is, oh, we need a ticker tape in there. And of course, the ticker tape machine didn't fit, so they had to cut the head up. But hang on, let's just show you a better version. So here we are. Let's have a look at it on this one. So again, this is what you would call the dummy head. Original version, so they took this head, realised the thing doesn't fit in, the ticker tape doesn't fit into it, so they split it that way, and split it that way, elongated it, put it back together, made a new mould, and cast out a new head. And that is the hero head. This version then later became the dummy head. I mean, not exactly this. What they did do is they put on a new nose, because K9 originally wasn't supposed to stay in this series, but when they did keep him in, they needed a lightweight one for Tom Baker and whoever to carry around. So they went back to this type of head because they couldn't find the other new mold that they made. And in case anyone's wondering, yes, that is true, and I know this is true because Tony Harding, the designer of this and the maker of this, told me himself. A few people have disputed this, but I'd rather take Tony Harding's word over their ideas. So yeah, this will be the dummy lightweight dog version. Yeah, I don't want to mess this one up. I mean, it's too good to cut up. So what I will do is I will replace the nose with a slightly wider one because that was an addition. I'll replace that because it's too small, this eye section. It's a bit wrong as well, but I'll replace that, replace the ears. I will add a split across here and a hinge. So this will be the hinged version. You did see Tom Baker use that one in Full Circle when K9 gets his head knocked off. I've always liked that one. I mean, you did see it in The Leisure Hive right at the very beginning when K9 disappears down the beach and blows up when he hits the water. Now, in case you didn't know, there were two dogs. So there was the radio control version, which was, well, radio control. It had all the full workings and the head and everything with the, the slightly larger head. Then you had another body with two different types of head. One, like I said just a moment ago, had the flap, and the other one didn't. So I'm going to make the one with the flap. So it'll be a dummy dog, a blown up dog, a hero radio control dog, and eventually the blue version from K9 and Company. So there we are. That's what I'm going to be doing with those. But my poor old wife did ask where I'm going to put them all, and that is a good question. Where am I going to put them all? But yeah, I'm rather looking forward to that. After making them for other people, finally I might get one myself. Last but not least, it's these two little things. Again, this is Doctor Who related, and again, it's from original castings and original models. These have been used for various BBC things. Let's see if you can guess what they are. Actually, let's not see if you can guess. I'm going to tell you. Let me just move this one out of the way first. We'll have a look at this one. Can you tell what it is? Look a bit familiar? Well, if you don't watch Doctor Who, then no. In particular, classic Doctor Who. Let's just open it up. It's a set of mould, as I've just said. There we go. So, it's clearly a hand. But whose hand is it? Well, you should know by now if you're a classic fan. It is Eldred's hand from the Hand of Fear. Now, this mould, just like this one over here, was really designed to be cast in fiberglass. So you put your matting in, your resin and your matting in there, your resin and matting there, and on that. You then basically put a load of goop around the outside as a glue, then join that half to that half, then put that on the back. However, silicone really doesn't like being fiberglassed because the fiberglass resin itself just reacts with the silicone and fairly quickly destroys it. Now, these molds are a good few decades old, and yeah, I'm not saying they're at the end of their life, but I don't really want to risk putting fiberglass in. So what I'm going to do, even though it's not designed for it, I am going to pour resin into them and then do like a swirly slush mold like I did when I did the Mask of the Mandragora. So I'll do that, and then I might run a few just to see what it's like, and then create some brand new molds. And quite possibly, don't quote me on this, don't get your hopes up, but I might offer them for sale. So that's that. But yeah, I really like the look of that, and it's really nice. Again, this is something I've wanted for many, many years. And yeah, finally got them. The other one, if you've been watching the BBC's online videos that they put up occasionally, you might recognise these. Morbius's brain. Now, this are the exact same moulds that the model unit used when they were restoring the original Brain of Morbius costume. They are absolutely filthy at the moment, and these are in pretty good condition despite all the crud that's in there. They are heading towards the end of their life. So like these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a new casting and make new molds. I mean, they are starting to tear. You can probably see in here. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. I think it's good for a good few more castings, but there are little tears in here, like, and I know who did this, and he will know who did this. Let's just say that wasn't there 5 years ago. That was there. It doesn't really matter. It's just these things happen. So I'm going to make those. Again, that's another thing I've wanted for years. I mean, if you know me, I love props. I just love the way they built those things back in the day. And it's been a real pleasure to be actually able to get hold of genuine castings and basically recreate all these things from my childhood. I mean, usually I'm doing stuff for other people, but do you know what? I've been thinking about the future, thinking I should start making some stuff for myself. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Making some things myself. Right, I think I've held your attention probably, or probably not, for long enough. So for this little update, I think I'm going to end it here. So thanks very much for watching. And if you want to like, comment and subscribe, please feel free and be my guest. I don't usually ask for that these days because I just find it slightly irritating. But that is hopefully what I'm going to be doing in the coming year or years. We'll see. Anyway, speak to you again soon then. Take care. Bye for now.